there will be absolutely no rules on this show. I've never had a problem expressing my opinions.
You are now watching the Behind the Boards show. New episode every week. Featuring Nick, Taylor, and Tyler.
And we're not going to fabricate ourselves in hopes to please everybody. But make no mistake, we are not here to make enemies, but to make conversation.
The Behind the Boards show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. New episode. We are now with Taylor. He came back from the dead. He's here now.
Yep. Good to be back.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
It's good having you. Good having you. It felt
yeah,
off.
yeah,
like we've done so many shows now that have had all three of us that having just two of us just felt weird, you know. So
it did feel weird. I'm not gonna lie. It did actually feel weird. Yeah. So welcome to episode 10. This is gonna be a little bit of a longer episode, just because we're kind of coming in late. There's a couple of things that we want to talk about. I guess is what.
basically, a lot of stuff happened. A lot of stuff happened over the last week since we last did our show.
Yeah.
And I mean, here we are, and you're going to be in for a long one, so I hope you're excited, because the last one was short, so it makes up for it, right?
Yeah. So briefly, throughout week 11, throughout the Thanksgiving games, the Bills killed the Saints. I mean, both teams weren't really... If I'm being honest, both teams weren't really looking too hot, but I can't really nitpick 31-6 on Thanksgiving Day. Good for them. Good for the Bills. Diggs embarrassed Lattimore on a nasty route. It was fucking gross. But yeah, you can't really nitpick 31-6. You could say, like I said, the Bills weren't looking too good either, but you know what? The Saints, they had to cut 9 people from the roster because of the salary cap. They still have a lot of players on their team, but hopefully something works out for them soon. And really briefly, they had a guest commentator for this game. Probably someone who should not have been commentating, but Drew Brees. That must have been very weird to see them just get absolutely demolished by a team that's maybe top 7 right now. Just absolutely destroy that team, destroy his team. I'm very curious to know how he would have
retired.
Thought about that. But
when did he retire?
Oh geez, 2
seasons ago.
Last year.
I don't know. I feel like that'd be weird. You know, you come on, you're like, okay, I'm gonna have like this one day where I come on and guest commentate for my old team, and then we just get absolutely shit rocked at home.
Yeah, that would be so awkward. It'd be so uncomfortable. Like, I couldn't imagine. That's why I'm very curious to know what he thinks. I hope Tom Brady gets him on his podcast and talks about that. The Bills though, they did look great. Maybe they looked good. And coming off the loss to the Colts, this was a much needed win for them. And obviously, the Lions continue to stink. And I know
this team.
I know Tyler wants to talk about them. Well,
because I watched the last quarter.
Yeah.
I was interested because like I was working and I was like, you know what, this game's on. It's early in the day. I might as well watch like the last quarter of this game.
Yeah.
Right.
But we will get back to them in just a moment. The Bears gets a win over them in field goal fashion. But I am not going to lie. Before going into that game, I really thought the Bears were going to lose. And it's just because of the head coach drama with Nagy, as we talked about previously, and the whole fire Nagy chants at Chicago Bowl games and probably Blackhawks games, and going to his son's game and chanting that shit, fire Nagy. Like Taylor, imagine going to your hockey game and you have people that know your dad telling and just chanting out your dad's name to fire them. Like, that would be fucking hilarious. It's not funny at the same time, but it's just kind of one of those situations where it's like, what the hell is happening?
How do you react? Especially, again, as I said last show, like, this kid's probably, like, in his late teens. He's in high school. He's playing football. And then his dad's just getting roasted from everybody in the stands.
But yeah, on top of the drama with that, you got the drama with the team ownership coming out and saying that they weren't actually going to fire Nagy after the Turkey Bowl game. But fans said, actually, we said we were going to fire him after Thanksgiving. We were actually saying it to his kids. It just seems like a never-ending source of drama coming out of the Bears so far. But yeah, they got the win. Bear fans were Bear fans. You know what? They were saying they lost either way because the Lions lost by 2. Bears get a win because of Cairo, and maybe Nagy gets to stay for another year. So who really knows? I do want to get Tyler's interjection in regards to the Detroit Lions here in a second. But let me just say that the Lions stink. How are you even still in the league? Who the fuck calls 2 timeouts in a row? What fucking team does that? 2 timeouts in a row? Then it was too many men on the field, I think twice. Just win the fucking game, dude. What the fuck? Go cry about it later. It looked like they never fucking played football before. And I got things to say, but Tyler had money on it, so I'm kind of curious to know what his thoughts are. And then I'll chime in.
Well, I got a little... I was having fun because it was free, right? So I was like, whatever, I'll just throw 25 on the Lions to win.
Right.
And again, as I was saying earlier, I was sitting there watching the game the last, 9 minutes of the fourth quarter, and it's actually unbelievable how terrible their offensive line is.
No, I don't think it's unbelievable. I think they do it in fantastic fashion on how shit they are. They're the best at being the worst. How do you have a team that somehow is going to manage this season to go 0-16 in an 0-17 in a 17-game season? You know how fucking hard that must have been?
They've already lost 16 games in a row going back to last season.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean...
oh, my God. And then, so, to top it all off, I thought, oh, my God, all they had to do was push it to past 50 to get at least a field goal in there, to get some cushion.
Oh.
Maybe make it a game. Maybe make it seem like, oh, my God, the Lions are actually going to win their first game of the season.
You know what's really disappointing is the fact that I was kind of going through all their previous games. They would be 5-6 right now if they had scored just 20 more points. They would be 5-6 right now if they had just scored 20 more points. You know how fucking insane that is? How are you that shit? It's actually fucking embarrassing.
Blows my mind.
And then sorry to cut you off, but yeah, continue. I just wanted to. I wanted the fans of football to understand that they were 20 points shy of a 5-6 season.
That's unbelievable, considering the fact that they're 0-10-1 now.
Yeah.
And to top it all off, you've got... So, I talked about their offense, and that's not even the worst part.
No.
So they give up the ball. Punt it. Give it to the Bears. You think, you know what, there's 8 minutes and 20 seconds left when the Bears get the ball. That's plenty of time to hold the Bears back. Not a fucking chance. In 8 minutes and 20 seconds of gameplay left on the clock, this Detroit Lions defense lets, 18 plays? It was 18 plays.
That they let slip by?
That they let slip by. 18 plays in 8 minutes to get into the red zone before field goaling to win the game. Before scoring a field goal. And just...
Damn.
I don't watch a lot of football, people, trust me. I sound like an idiot probably, but I don't care. I'm going off because this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. The fact that there were even people in the stands at this Lions game. At home. This game was at home. You look like you're actually going to come out with a win until 8 minutes left. And then there's not a single time. Chicago was just playing with their food.
It looked like, and like for me when I was watching the end bit of that game, I wasn't really interested in watching that game. I also got into that game late too, so I was like, whatever. And like I said, I expected the Bears to win it, or the Bears to lose it.
You were expecting them to lose.
So I was like, okay, whatever. It looked like from what I was watching right at the end there, either the defense just gave up or they just couldn't compete. It was one of the two, and that's no question. And the other thing is, whoever the defensive coordinator is, definitely needs to be fired at this point. Maybe not so. Maybe not so much the offensive coordinator. I don't even know who they are. I'm gonna look it up. But the defensive coordinator needs to leave. There's no questions asked. Yeah, Aaron Glenn. He's a former cornerback. What? I don't know. There's so much I could say about that, but it'd be going into so much more deeper than it is, because this team is rooted so deeply in losing. It's just expected now.
It's unbelievable.
It's
and
sad.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna get off the Lions for a second and go to the Bears. Good on the Bears for literally just playing the clock.
100%. They played that clock
running
well.
The clock.
They played that clock very well.
Dry. No matter how many timeouts the Lions had, the Bears would hit just 10 yards and go. They didn't make long running plays, long passes. Everything was incomplete.
Yeah.
Everything was short.
Well, they lost.
Everything was short, sweet, to the point.
Detroit lost all my trust when they called 2 fucking timeouts in a row. Yeah, absolutely. That's embarrassing. But for the news that I really want to talk about from that whole day, let's start with Luke Combs. Absolutely killed that show. Long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart. Football teams are tearing this boy apart, or whatever. Talking right to the Cowboy fans, I think. Super ironic. 75th year sucking. Cowboys lost by a fucking field goal. The Cowboys versus
they
Raiders.
Almost brought it back.
There is something I really need to get off my fucking chest. 28. Okay. Alright, before we get into this, I feel like this is going to be a fucking reoccurring theme probably for the next 2 or 3 seasons. I don't want to constantly be talking about the fucking refs. It is driving me up the fucking wall, and I'm actually pissed. 28 fucking flags were thrown in that Cowboys versus Raiders game on Thanksgiving. 14 flags each And I think I saw something that I was like 250 yards plus that were shared between both fucking teams. The refs must have thought they were awesome drawing all those flags in Dallas. Probably fucking feeling like they're gunslingers or some shit 28 times. I just felt like yelling, "Hey Ed! Tell your son this game ain't about him. Okay? Tell your son Sean that we get it. We get it." Because if you don't know, Sean Hockley's son is Ed. Or Sean Hockley is Ed's son. And Ed was also a ref. You can stop and go as you please, but you know what? I am actually going to take a moment here to look at this from the other side of the horse, or whatever the fuck the saying is, because for the first time in 18 years, both teams shared over 14 flags and over 100 yards each. In total, I think it was like 267. It has been 18 long years. So many refs that have come up and gone have attempted this challenge, but it wasn't until Thanksgiving Day that it somehow was able to pop up on TV on the second most watched football event of the year in front of millions. That refereeing crew showed up and did the impossible. So, good on you. I mean, that crew showed up
Hats
and
off
did
to
what
them.
every other refereeing crew has been trying to do for the past 18 years, almost two decades. I at this point, I just don't know. I am at a true loss for words. Okay. I need to take a quick second. Almost 2 decades. Okay. This crew took over the game and broke all the records. All right. They broke. So the refs. Okay. The refs. You know, congratulations to you. Just congratulations. Okay? It has been too easy to get mad at them. Okay? Congratulations. It's been too easy to get mad at them and tell them they fucking stink and go after the fact that none of them are full-time. Who gives a fuck? They're probably sitting behind their fucking computer screen rehearsing for plays. I don't fucking know. But anybody could do that. Anybody could get a YouTube video going and say that all the refs are flawed and it's been happening for so long and blah, blah, blah. They're able to review everything. Why can't they just go in the year and say, bad call, change it? Because they have in the past, but barely. But barely. Why? Because that's probably too easy to do. It's probably too easy to do. Like that pass interference that essentially lost the game to the Cowboys. His head ended up in the middle. I don't even remember the two players' names, but his head came forward into the chest. He had nowhere to turn his head. Okay? He had nowhere to turn his head. And if you don't know, in NFL, you can't make contact without your head being turned. Like that's a rule, which is something to do when you connect because of the face mask. His head was between the arms. His head was held, and there was no way for his head to move. That cost him the game. Like, what I'm curious of, okay, is if it was a different reffing crew, would the calls have been the same? Right? Would the calls have been the same? Now, here's the fucking kicker. Hockley, Sean Hockley, not Ed. Ed is gone. I'm sure he's probably still involved in officiating somehow. He reffed the Vikings-Packers game. Not as many flags, but fucking damn near close. The other thing here is that he is a heel. Because every game he has reffed, the home teams are 1-8. Which, by the way, I think it's been 3 years of the Turkey Bowl that no home team has won in the last 3 years straight, or something like that. 3 years, maybe 2, but I think it's 3. Like, what is it? Is it the refs taking up family time before they leave, so they're stressed out? Is it because playing on Thanksgiving is an inconvenience for literally everybody? Depending if you're traveling or not, or depending if you're a shit or not. And by shit, I mean if you're a shit team or not. And it seems that it's always in fucking Detroit. Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry Jones, owner, reactions to that game were priceless. Even they were stunned. Jerry Jones said, "Listen, Big Mike and we talked, and he said, these fucking guys like to throw a lot of flags. We love that. That was going to happen. We were ready for that, but we didn't anticipate being on the wrong end of more than a couple of them." Is basically what Jerry Jones said. That is real, though, and if Mike McCarthy and Jerry Jones are talking every week like it sounds like they are, the referees being scouted is 100% a real fucking thing. For those who always told me and always said it was never a part of playmaking, you're fucking wrong. Jerry Jones, owner of the Cowboys, just confirmed it right there. They knew. There's definitely a play style that they are adapting to the refs on top of the other team on the field. Now,
Shouldn't have
what
to
I'm
do
curious of is Sean Hockley's crew. I didn't even look at if they coached this week, but I would like to look into it and see how many flags he is throwing, and is both teams matched up again. Because I'm curious if the teams are going to be like, listen, I want all you guys fucking choir boys, because they fucking call everything. We're playing two-hand touch, basically. And there are meetings for the next 4 weeks. This week was one. Next week, the week after, and 2 more weeks about Hockley's crew, because they will even give averages of the amount of flags. Like, how about we call this more than anybody else? And some crews, offensive holding on the offensive line, a lot of them. I mean, there's a former defensive lineman that is refereeing on this crew that calls more offensive holding on the team than anybody. So every week the teams are like, look out for it, look out for it. But from what I have heard and read, teams don't really find out about the officials until like Thursday or Friday or something like that. I can't quite remember, but it's definitely one of those days. Wouldn't be surprised if it's probably Friday. Hockley's crew all year heels. The stats say the away team will benefit a lot more than the home team. Mike McCarthy, like I said, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, got asked why they lost and his thoughts. And his straight up response was 28 penalties. What else do you want? That's what he said. What else do you want? Like 28 fucking penalties? You're not even playing ball at this point. Legacies get tarnished and people lose jobs because of bad officiating. And look, I am very happy I own this show. And I am happy that I'm not owned by anyone or any organization, because I could say whatever I want. And let me say, these refs fucking stink! And we need to make them better. We need to make them better, because this is seeming to be like a fucking routine. Now, where I'm talking about refs, not just on the show here, but outside of it in groups of friends or family or people that I'm just talking to about sports at work, the officiating in the NFL is at the absolute worst. And we need to fucking change. We need to be better. Maybe um, start letting players that are getting out of the league as a player join in. Maybe the NFL start some sort of like academy or something for the players so they can learn, because this is fucking ridiculous. I'm worried that the officiating is going to get so fucking bad. It's going to be a conversation of, okay, the team that is going to win tonight is going to be the team with the least number of fucking flags called. Which should never be the fucking case in a sport. I'm sick of tired of talking about the fucking refs after every single game day. And I'm sick and tired of it, of even if the refs weren't even that bad, it's still brought up. It's still brought up. It is fucking horrible. My passion lies in the sport of football, not the fucking people dressed in zebras, okay? And having ego-filled refs trying to change the trajectory of games because they want their fucking name out there, I want the NFL more involved. Like, I am getting emotional right now because I want the sport of NFL to succeed even more than it already has. And I want more Canadians and even more Americans to watch the game. But when you have people who are non-football, just think about this. When you have people who are non-football fans sitting down watching the game at Turkey Bowl Thursday or whatever fucking day it comes down on, and seeing a game get officiated with 28 fucking flags, it's like, who can watch this shit? Numerous fucking times where there was a flag on 5 straight plays. 5 straight plays. And even special teams, which is always so fucking long and drawn out, let alone the false starts, the offsides, like, fuck. But you know what? They broke a fucking record. 14 penalties on both teams, so congratulations to them. Sean did something his dad could never do in 2 decades, but Micah Parsons, Rookie of the Year, for sure, I guess. Now that we're on fucking Dallas Cowboys, Micah Parsons, Micah Parsons, Rookie of the Year. Dak Prescott ended up throwing for 375 or something close to that, which is fucking awesome, even despite the fucking shitty refs. The touchdown where Dak Prescott threw to the tight end, Dalton Schultz, up to the seam, or right up to the seam, was absolutely beautiful. I love seeing that. I mean, the Raiders need credit too. Derek Carr, man, I mean, shit. Just the whole penalty thing needs to be changed. For Week 12, games were interesting and frustrating. I mean, fuck, the Miami Dolphins, a team that stinks right now, bested my Carolina Panthers 33-10. Granted, my team stinks right now too. Like always, I guess. Actually, not too, always. But that should have been a surefire win for the Panthers. Cam Newton seems to be taking all the blame right now, but let's be honest. Our fucking O-line is so fucking shit for the past couple of years. Actually, I would say after the Super Bowl in 2015, right up from 2017 until now, our O-line has just been shit and fucking horrendous. I mean, with bringing Cam Newton back, we should have just fucking kept him from before, traded some picks, and maybe got a better O-line. Because maybe he will be back in his glory MVP days. Who really knows? Whether or not Cam Newton stays for another year, 2 or 3, whatever the fucking case, the O-line needs to change on that team. I don't know what it is. I don't know what is going on. Maybe we need some more vets. But before we start looking at QBs, we need to learn how to fucking protect them first. Because Cam Newton did play good. He did play good. I mean, he got a touchdown. And now with McCaffrey out for the rest of the season, my fucking team is not a contender. We're not looking at anywhere better than we were last year. So Whether we have the richest fucking owner in the NFL or not, it doesn't matter at this point because before Cam Newton, and I would say even with Cam Newton, the entire weight of the team is on Christian McCaffrey's shoulders. And it seems to be that way, like, with the fans and through the management. Social media for sure. I mean, let the guy breathe. I mean, fuck, he's probably stressing out right now, trying to do some kind of therapies and stuff, get ready for next season. I really hope he doesn't strain himself. That's what I'm praying for. And here's the thing too. I mean, right now we don't really have many other options. With Cam being benched, I think he was benched. I stopped watching the fucking game. I heard he was benched. I don't know who you would have played in that situation because I mean, he's the best option out of all of them. But who really knows at this point? Who really fucking knows? The other thing I need to address is the LA Rams and Matthew Stafford. Apparently he's hurt. Is he though? I mean, everyone's fucking hurt because maybe he had a hard time with the Green Bay's defense because he's normally dropping balls right on the numbers. I mean, OBJ caught that TD, but who really knows? I mean, LA at first, beginning of the season, looked really good, but now, again, they're another team I doubt are also contenders. Maybe it's because Matthew Stafford was on the Detroit Lions for so long, and we all fucking know how much of a fucking shit show that fucking organization is, but who really knows? I'm curious about Sean McVay's opinion. In my opinion, next to Bill Belichick, he's probably the best coach in the league. I don't want him fired. I think right now the issue lies with the players. I think everyone is too hyped up. I think everyone needs to be humbled out real quick. I think that's what Sean McVay needs to do. I don't think this is Sean McVay's fault. I think this is based on the players, just the way that I watch LA play. There was no reason for them to lose against Green Bay. I mean, I'm not saying Green Bay is a slouch, because it really has not been good for them lately. For the Rams, I mean. Now, despite them losing, I mean, they are still looking better than a lot of the other teams. I mean, I don't know. The past like 2 or 3 weeks have just been very weird, and now we have this old Uncle COVID is coming back with apparently the mutations of all mutations, a new variant, the Barry Sanders of COVID mutations, because apparently no vaccine is taking this thing down. And I'll tell you what, unlike the other variants, this one's ain't quitting early. This bad boy is going to play out his full career. By the way, the fact that Barry Sanders played that long and that good for that bad of a fucking franchise, he had to be a fucking mental battle. Because, like, clearly that team, and those of you who don't know, Barry Sanders was on the Detroit Lions. Which seems to be a fucking reoccurring thing that keeps getting brought up here. But he was the absolute best, no questions asked. But Matthew Stafford, one of the, I don't know, what can you say, best in the NFL right now, also coming from Detroit Lions. Maybe there's something wrong here. Maybe there's just something going on. But Lions fans watch and compare Stafford to Jared Goff. How is this guy in the fucking NFL? How in the greatest league on earth is Jared Goff the best choice and option for quarterback? This guy stinks. He was playing good at the beginning of the season, launching balls, TJ Hawkinson. Goff was juiced up, but whatever. I'm not a Detroit Lions fan, so I really don't care that much. I'm just curious about the organization and how the NFL can let teams get this fucking bad. On that note, I need to ask this for not just NFL, but hockey as well. Like the Vancouver Canucks, Ottawa Senators, Buffalo Sabres, and then the Detroit Lions, Dallas Cowboys, even my Panthers as of late. These teams, whether I like it or not, are not good. Letting down their fans constantly. Poor decision when it comes to drafting, trades, management, and everything else on the fucking books. You would think having professionals manage the team, it would enable the teams to have a great or general good success. What makes the great teams great? I think it's a number of things. I think it's management, coaching staff, players. Actually, first having people and players that want to be there, then players' skill. Every team has slumps, but it seems that Detroit, Dallas, Carolina, and the NHL teams I mentioned are constantly on the way down. It's just a case of bad old management being stuck in their ways, spouting off it worked 20 years ago bullshit. Because at the end of the day, it sucks. No, it stinks. Because I'm a Panthers fan at heart. And I also like the Washington football team and the Buffalo Bills. Because being Canadian, technically that's my home team. But even they are sufferers from this. I'm tired of having bad teams always. Like you're playing at the highest level. You're the coach at the highest level. GM, owner. Don't you want to win? Aren't you fucking sick and tired? And people are probably saying right now, why do you care? Why do you care, Nick? Because I want more competition. I've said this before, more competition will always make the better teams better, or they're going to show off their flaws. Like, Tom Brady is great, clearly, and the coaching staff in Tampa is fantastic, but aren't you fucking seeing him win the goddamn Lombardi? It's fucking annoying. I think, too, the NFL wants him to win because now it's just money. It drives me up the wall. When you have teams like Detroit constantly failing, it's annoying. And MCDC, Motor City Dan Campbell, seems to be a great coach for the Detroit Lions. But it just looks like there is something seriously wrong with the Detroit Lions, and I cannot, for the life of me, figure out what it is. Dan Campbell got emotional before his first season. You can see there's a video of it because they got some new training facility for the boys. Like, that's the other thing. There was a picture of Lamar Jackson that came out in practice on a field of dead fucking grass. It was just all brown and yellow grass. You're a fucking billion-dollar organization. You can't afford fucking grass? Why? Maybe that's new turf I'm unaware of, but I fucking doubt it. There are some teams with no indoor training fields. You're a football team, you got no indoor training fields? Like your team is worth $1 billion or damn near close to $1 billion. And if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you're worth fucking $6.5 billion. Invest in something. And that's not a joke. The Dallas Cowboys are worth $6.5 billion. How are you shit? How? You make $6.5 billion and you're still garbage? Invest in something. Put the money in the players. Now, I'm not saying put the money on the contract, but clearly there's a fucking disconnect. Now, granted, the Dallas Cowboys have been winning ball games lately, but make no mistake, they are nowhere near the shot of making it to the Super Bowl. Not a chance. If they get in, it'll be through a wild card and lose out in the first round. Detroit, well, don't even get me started. They're never going to see the other end of the fucking Stanley Cup playoffs. But on the topic with NHL and teams, the last thing I want to mention before we move on into hockey, before we segue into hockey, as you guys know, I am a Tampa Bay Lightning fan and a Carolina Panthers fan. And again, it's going to be another pissed off Nick talking about this because this is another thing that just drives me up the fucking wall. And like I said before I was a full-blown Bolts fan, I was a Capitals fan. Do you understand how fucking impossible it is to find a Tampa Bay Lightning and Carolina Panthers shirt? Okay? Let alone gear. I have one hat from the Panthers. Tampa Bay, I have numerous hats. That's cool. If you know me, I'm always wearing a fucking hat. In fact, I'm wearing a Tampa Bay hat right now. It's part of who I am, so I'll always take more hats. But the rest, like shirts, sweaters, hockey sweaters, or football jerseys, nope, impossible. Unless I order online. Now, I could very well order online, but 99% of the time I am ordering online, I don't want to order online because I am extremely impatient, first of all, and can never wait. And I like to have things right now in my hand when I make a purchase, or it will drive me crazy. Unless it's coming from Amazon, I also have a very bad experience with every single fucking delivery service. UPS, FedEx, everything. It doesn't fucking matter. Not being able to support my teams I love, especially my football teams, seriously makes me upset. I don't know if it's the Canadian market, like the customers here won't buy too much Panthers gear or what. But the fucking Tampa Bay Lightning won 2 fucking Stanley Cups in a fucking row. You're telling me I can't find a Stanley Cup champion shirt? Are you fucking serious? No. It's the same 2 fucking shirts that have been out there for the whole fucking time. It's either a Stamkos shirt that I have 2 of, or a fucking blank blue Tampa Bay shirt that I have 2 of. Like, I don't understand this. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And the worst fucking part, like, oh, if the Montreal Canadiens would have won, you can bet your dick and balls that there would be a fucking Montreal Canadiens Stanley Cup shirt right fucking now. You're going to your local Sport Check, fucking buy one to extra small all the way up to fucking 5X. Okay? Why can't I buy the shit I want to buy? Hockey is one thing, but it's very evident I love football. Maybe I have to resort ordering online, but I want there to be a day where I am shopping and come across shirts, sweaters, or jerseys of the Panthers. Like, do you guys understand how fucking bad I want a Kuechly jersey or a McCaffrey jersey? Greg Olsen? Like, the list goes fucking on. Like, this has forced me to start unintentionally changing my teams. Like, at this point, I might as well just fucking be a Buffalo Bills fan and Toronto Maple Leafs fan, because that's all the gear you get to find these days. And the other thing, the CFL, you can find that gear. Okay? You can find that gear stocked full at every fucking Sport Check you go to. So the Canadian market doesn't work for me. That's an argument that does not work for me. Who the fuck is buying Ottawa Red Black shirts and fucking hats? Who? It doesn't fucking matter. And is it the 2 people in all of Canada that are buying Ottawa Red Blacks jerseys and shirts and hats? Tie-Cats? Fuck. The only gear that makes sense because they are arguably the most popular CFL team is Rough Riders, and me, like everyone else who has to watch CFL, prefers to watch the Rough Riders. Look, I don't understand unintentionally like doing this, because like I said, I feel like I've switched. I feel like I have to make a switch. I want to have a whole bunch of shit. But even the Bolts, like, there's nothing. The Leafs and Bills is like the best option, because at the end of the day, I mean, I did get a little bit more interested. Does this mean I'm fully switching and going to buy a whole bunch of Toronto Maple Leaf gear? No, probably not. But does it still piss me off to no end? Yes. Yes, absolutely. So with that being said, we are going to move on to our NHL conversations. Actually, very quickly, Kareem Hunt's dad ended up posting some stuff on Twitter, verbatim, saying, now I'm getting people on my Facebook saying I'm being like OBJ's daddy and I'm not stating facts on football, and what we see, he's limping, he's scared, throw the ball, blah, 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 blah. I'm not even going to comment on this situation, but the fact that people now are following in OBJ's footsteps just proves that he still has merit. All the people, this is going to be a very quick thing, all the people that were saying that OBJ doesn't have the right, you're fucking wrong, because clearly he does. Clearly he does have the right, and very much clearly does he still have an impact on the league. And very clearly is he still affecting other players and how they're looking at things. Does this mean Kareem Hunt is going to be leaving and going to a different team? I don't fucking know. Do I care? Not even remotely. But my point is, OBJ is clearly doing some kind of impact on the league still. I was gonna get into Baker Mayfield, but I mean, who am I gonna talk to about that? What am I gonna say? The same thing that everyone else says. Um, he's not, in my opinion, he's not gonna get a extension. I wouldn't see why he would, unless they really double down on him. But it doesn't seem like it's the best idea. But maybe that's something we could get into next episode. Right now, Mark, I don't even know. I can never pronounce this guy's name. Mark Bergevin, Bergiven, Bergiven, has been fired finally from the Montreal Canadiens. I hated seeing his face. I hated all of it. I think he's a horrible GM. Very clearly, if he's been there for as long as he has. I don't even know how long he's been there for.
Since 2012.
But yeah, who really knows? But yeah, what do you guys think about that?
It's about time, I think. I think they need. It's just weird to me. Like, you think of a team that's gone straight to the Stanley Cup Finals, and then the following year they suck so bad that they just fire the entire front office. Has that ever happened before? Is this like literally the first time? Because I can't recall.
I think so.
I can't recall any other time that's ever happened before.
It looks very bad, but I feel like the Montreal Canadiens are one of those teams that really need a change. And I think what happened with the Montreal Canadiens is they suffered from the fact that they were in the playoffs, so they thought they were a lot better of what they were going into that, because they're a team that should not have been there, and I think it all went to their head. And yeah, they should not have been in that playoffs, and I think everyone on that team thought they should be. But yeah.
They should have lost in the first round. But that's a whole nother story.
Yep.
God damn it.
What do you think, Tyler?
Well, I mean, this is just more shit that comes on after 6 months. 6 months after they draft Logan Mayfield, this shit happens. I mean, he should have been fired. In my opinion, he probably should have been let go 3 seasons ago.
Oh my god, yeah.
Then they just happened to luck their way into the playoffs in the bubble, where they beat, who was it? They beat the Penguins in 5 in the play-in round, and then played, I think, 6 games against Philly before they were knocked out, and then last season as well. They statistically, I've said it many times already, this team sucks. They sucked last year. They were 24th the season before.
Whoa, you're saying they suck? Whoa.
Actually, in other words, other people would say they stink.
That's some harsh words.
But it's true.
Oh, yeah.
These guys. Oh yeah, for sure. Your captain's out, and the best goalie in Canada is out. Okay, which by the way, Price was skating this morning, which is good to see. But
I have a very sneaking suspicion that I wanted to bring to you guys in regards to all this. With Carey Price leaving, do you think is what put all this in motion? I'm very curious. Like, yes, he left because of substance abuse and whatnot, and mental health, which, congrats on him for doing, because I'm sure there was a lot of people in the league right now that are probably looking at him as a role model and leaving. I'm sure that took a lot of balls to leave, but I'm curious of when the team went to him, if they were asking him questions, and if that would have put any of this in motion. Because at the end of the day, he is Carey Price. He's been there for a while. You would think he holds a lot of weight. Like, I'm sure there's still players that want to go to Montreal that are in the draft that probably want to go to Montreal specifically to play with Price. Like, there has to be. So I think he has some kind of weight. But that's just that's just what I'm thinking of, because, like, wouldn't that make sense to you guys, or am I just kind of looking way too deep into it, do you think?
I don't know. You, Taylor, go first.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're just two separate, totally different
Entities?
Yeah, I think with Price, what he was dealing with and all that, I think that was his. Like, it didn't help for Montreal to be like coming into the season just having the start that they had. So I think
Yeah.
that's what really got the ball rolling, and obviously it didn't help to have Price in between the pipes, not to have him there. And I think I don't know. Like, I don't think I can put those. I can tie those two together for it being like having the ball to get rolling there. I think it was just the timing and all this. They've already, they're not doing crazy good. They're still really bad. It's, maybe they're just trying to fix what's broken right now, and you got to make changes, whether it's coaching, it's players, or
Something had to change, and I mean they already changed their coaching. I think it was 3 times in the past 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And then you've got the start where this season where they're 6-15-2, second last in the division. Like, I don't really think that I feel like at this point there had to be a change. And there is a part of me that thinks it's a little unwarranted solely because, like, I mean, you've got 2 of your most important players on the team not playing for you right now. Like, do you really think they would be this bad if Price was in net and if Shea Weber was still on the back end? No, I don't think they would be this bad. I think they may be 500.
at least.
But because of the fact that these 2 players are out and Caulfield is playing like absolute garbage.
That's another thing.
I feel like they aren't where they're supposed to be, but at the same time they're also supposed to be there, if you know what I mean. Like, they aren't as good as they thought they were last season. I don't know. I feel like this firing has been long overdue.
100%.
As I said, they should have been let go a couple seasons ago. But at this point, if it's already if 2 months or 2 years ago is too late, then if the first time is the best time, then the second best time is now.
I agree. It's all about timing at that point. Can't really. I can't. I don't think I could tie those two in with each other of being the reason why that firing was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I don't know. We could be totally wrong. I have no idea. I don't know what happens behind closed doors. I don't know if Price was even involved. He may well have been. I don't know. But from my understanding and what I see on it, I don't think that was the case. But again, I don't know for sure. But I don't know. We'll see. See what happens.
Lost in this too is their assistant GM resigned a day before Bergevin was fired.
Yeah, it's been a weird.
Or I think it was the same day.
It's been a very weird. I don't know. I guess. What would you call it?
Events.
Yeah, I guess.
I guess, right?
That's what you would call it. I have a feeling they're doing a rebuild on the management side of things. Like, that's what
I didn't expect them to be this bad.
I didn't think it was this bad either. But
I don't think anybody expected them to be this bad.
At the end of the day, maybe it's even worse than what we're thinking. Because when you really think about it, personally, the one player that really deserved a Stanley Cup, apart from Ovechkin before, was Price. Hands down.
Yeah.
And I think since the time that he's been a goalie, there's always been issues with them. Offense, defense, coaching staff. Every fucking year. Last year, I think it was everything. I mean, yeah, they got into the playoffs, but that was on purely the back of Carey Price. He kicked it in the high gear. He won those games. It was not the players. It was not Gallagher. It was not the rookies, as much as we like to think it is. I mean, what was his name? I forget his name. Caulfield went down and came back up. Why?
Yep.
Why? What is the point of that? Why send him down just to bring him back up? It makes no sense. That is management. The players losing out in the game on against Tampa Bay Lightning. I think even if personally, I think even if they were all at 100%, they were all deserving of that of that run. I still believe Tampa still would have won. I mean, we would have. I mean, we still had the $18 million away, so we would have won, no matter what. As everyone else says, even though that fucking IR reserve doesn't, or the LTIR doesn't fucking matter. But I mean, I guess it does at a certain point. But
You think the timing is right with the you got to think what make this move now and then hopefully
I
turn
think
this
so.
around, right?
That's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
I think it has to be right now. I think if they want Carey Price back, this is why I think it has to be. I think Carey Price has to be involved because I think that he's probably on his way out, and he's probably saying to the owner, directly to the owner. I think he went over the GM's head. If I was him, I'd say, listen, I'm not. Why the fuck would I come back? We got a shitty coach.
This is his 9th coach, by
Yeah.
the way.
Really?
Since he started playing in 2007. Wow. This is his 9th coach. And he's been coached by Claude Julien twice.
Oh my God. I did not know
that time. I just looked it up now because I was like, how many, because I know they've been through a lot of coaches recently.
Right.
But it's been ever since he started playing in 2007. They've been switching coaches every 3 or 4 years. I think their longest tenured coach during his time was Michel Therrien.
That's the worst part. They can't fucking stick with people. Granted, these coaches were shit. Or whatever you want to say. They all stink. But at the same time, coaches can only do so much. They're not the ones handling the puck. It's the players. It's the players. If PK Subban was such a problem in that organization for so long, why keep him for so long? And I'm sorry, I will still say that trade is a bad trade.
For who?
Montreal. Shea Weber's gone. PK fucking Subban is still playing. You traded.
But Subban's not who he used to be.
No, but he's still
Not
playing.
close.
That's the point. He's still playing, and maybe he could be that leader right now. Because I know he had a problem with 2 players. Apparently, he was really hard to deal with, and fucking yada yada. I would still, yeah. Wow, Shea Weber has a hard shot. Whoop-de fucking doodah. I don't care about his hard shot.
Subban.
Whether I like it or not, PK Subban's a good defensive player. Am I wrong in that sentiment? I don't think I'm wrong.
I love PK.
I think fans love him.
Yeah, the fans also love him.
He was the one player that even I, a Leafs fan, I was like, and whenever he was on the ice, I was like, oh yeah, PK.
Yeah.
Always
Anytime you see him score a goal, that guy is pumped.
I still feel that way when I watch him play. And I don't think getting rid of him was the best idea. I think also the issue was he was up against really good defensemen at that time. Erik Karlsson. He was probably getting compared to him a whole fucking bunch, and that was when he was in his prime. Well, but you can argue whether or not that was Erik Karlsson's prime or fucking this or that. Maybe people think he's gone downhill. I don't think so. I think he's hiding out. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, getting rid of him was a bad idea, and that's on management. And I think once PK Subban left, I'm sorry, but it left a hole open for Price.
Because they were best friends.
And PK, I don't know I don't know what it was, but he was like the best offensive defensive defenseman on the ice at all times. Able to score goals and get right back into position right after. He had his quick celebration, boom, he was back at it. I feel like he only rushed the net when it was absolutely necessary. It wasn't stupid. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm not that much of a hockey enthusiast, so I don't want to speak too much on it. But I think that there's, on top of the whole PK Subban situation, being traded, and then, or way back when, and everything else just kind of, I think everything is just adding up. There's too many young players on the team. Gallagher, who gives a shit? Get rid of him, really, at this point. Like, what the fuck is he doing for the team? He's just embarrassing everybody. Like, that whole shit with the sucker punch that happened a little while ago. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, fuck. Like, it's just stupid at this point. Like, just play the fucking game. That's it. I mean, what are you gonna do? Waste your fucking time on suspensions? Okay, why are we paying you $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 million? You want the same money as fucking Carey Price? Okay, well, fucking earn it. Like, I'm sorry. The fucking team hasn't been the same since Koivu left, and even then, that was a fucking shit show. Or actually, better yet, fucking Kovalev. After Kovalev left,
Oh, that guy was so sick.
That guy was not. He
Oh
was
my
dirt
God.
nasty with
the puck. Things he could do with that puck, man. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was crazy. After I would say after he left, it was all fucking sayonara. Like, everything just went downhill for the Montreal Canadiens. I think right now, if anyone thinks they're gonna get, like, the Montreal Canadiens are gonna get to the playoffs, you're fucking dreaming. There's no fucking way. I'll be surprised. I'll be very surprised if they finish this game with above 35 wins. So now's the best time for them to get rid of the players that they don't need. Get rid of the coaching staff for sure. And welcome Carey Price back in open arms. Whether or not they roll out the red carpet for him, who the fuck knows and who really cares. But Carey Price needs to win before he leaves, because he probably only has a couple years left before his legs start fucking giving out on him. One person that I'm glad is fucking leaving is Evander Kane. He deserves the fucking boot. Embarrassing the league for what? 10 fucking years? God damn. Go to the NHL, sweetheart. Actually, better yet, go to your house and just fucking play EASHL and spend all the rest of your goddamn money on that fucking goddamn game. You fucking blowout. The fact that the San Jose Sharks waste the amount of money that they do, and I'm glad you didn't get picked up, because you don't deserve that fucking contract you have. I'm glad you didn't get fucking picked up. I hope you have fun in the fucking AHL, which is another place you don't deserve to be. I'm sure there's going to be some bullshit that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks from there. Maybe you're doing some other nonsense. You're an embarrassment to athletics, not just fucking NHL, but athletics as a whole. Fucking grow up. God damn, it's been long enough. How many fucking chances do you need before you fucking learn?
Do you think he plays another game in the NHL? Or you think he's
oh,
done?
Oh, fuck no. He's done.
Going to the K?
He is so fucking done. I think the entire organization of the San Jose Sharks are fed up, between right from the owner down to the fucking AHL team. I'm sure the AHL team is throwing their hands up and going, "What the fuck?" Probably the funniest situation that the league has had to endure. This fucking Lemieux to Chuck situation.
Oh my god.
I need your guys' opinion on that first.
It's so funny. Like,
Who the fuck bites somebody in a fight?
It is the funniest fucking thing I've heard in so long. And to Chuck's reaction,
Who are you, Mike Tyson?
Chuck's reaction was fucking priceless. And yeah,
Oh my god.
the last biting.
You see in slow motion. He's looking at the ref. He's like, he fucking bit my hand, and there's blood coming out of his hand.
He did draw blood.
Yeah, it was. His
Yes.
hand was bleeding. I remember the last time like a biting incident happened was Mikhail Grabowski bit Pacioretty in a scrum, and Pacioretty was losing his shit, and I was like, why are we biting people? And this the fucking NHL here. Like, what are we doing? Like, oh
so
my
fucking
god,
stupid.
it's so dumb. And like hearing,
This is like Brad Marchand licking.
oh my
people.
god,
Yeah,
that guy's such a fucking dirtball. It's not even funny. Like, who fucking licks somebody?
I actually, I see people always say like, oh, you know, there's certain players that you would want on your team, and you know, you would love on your team. I would actually love to see Brad Marchand on like Tampa Bay just pissing people off, because I think it's hilarious. I think on one hand it's so fucking stupid.
Did you?
What's so
Did
funny?
either of you guys see what Kachuk said after the
Oh, he
game?
was
No.
losing it.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this. This is literally his statement. Kachuk was furious. This is the one time I'm gonna answer this, said Kachuk. It was the most gutless thing somebody could ever do. This guy, you can ask any one of his teammates. Nobody ever wants to play with him. This guy is a bad guy and a bad teammate. He focuses on himself all the time. The guy's just a joke. He shouldn't be in the league. This guy's gutless. No other team wants him. He's going to be begging to be in the NHL, but no other team is going to want him. He's an absolute joke. I can't even wrap my head around it. People don't even do this. He's just a bad guy. He didn't stop there. It's outrageous. Kids don't even do that anymore. Babies do that. I don't even know what he was thinking. He's just a complete brickhead. He's got nothing up there. Bad guy, bad player, but what a joke he is.
Oh my god, a brickhead! I've never heard that before.
He's a
Is Tkachuk
brickhead.
Canadian or?
No, him and Matthew are American.
What a chirp, eh? He's a brickhead. Fuck.
Oh,
He's a brickhead.
that's funny.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what brings you to the point where you have to bite somebody in a scrum? Like,
Let us stress, the situation is hilarious. Getting bit is not. It's just because it's so fucking childish.
Like, it's so
It's
random.
yeah, it doesn't even make any sense. Like,
the last thing I'm thinking about is I'm gonna bite this guy, or I'm gonna lick this guy in the
Like,
fucking
if I'm in a
face,
wrestling
like,
match on the ice with some guy, and he's beating my face in, the last thing I'm thinking of is the next time his hand comes close to my
Yeah.
mouth, I'm gonna bite it.
yeah,
I'm gonna bite it. I need a taste of that sweaty, second period glove tasting hand.
yeah. Fuck.
like
What the
honestly it blows me away that that's actually still happening in hockey right now. Like, we're talking about people biting other people. Like, grown ass men are biting each other
I
while
know.
fighting. Like,
It is when I first heard about it, I fucking laughed so hard. So hard. I couldn't even take a moment to be like, that's fucked up. Because I just think it's so funny. The fact that there's someone in a professional league, in a professional capacity, biting people on their fucking hands. In something that is a regular thing in hockey. Like, scrums happen, fights happen. And
Oh my
someone
God.
got bit. That is the funniest thing to me.
it's just it's that's all it is. It's just it's so funny. Like, there's nothing else to describe that situation.
By no means am I not on Tkachuk's side, by the way. I'm 100% on
yeah.
Tkachuk's
Absolutely.
side. Lemieux should definitely suffer some sort of consequence.
Well, some news came out today. He's supposed to be having an in-person hearing. I don't know when it's going to be, but he's going to be having an in-person hearing, most likely with player safety. In-person hearings, once they're set out, you're looking at an automatic suspension. They're not going to do an in-person hearing and then just fine them $5,000.
Yeah, I think it's at least 5 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
All right. So at least that's good.
So
speaking of
something's going to happen.
speaking of $5,000 fine, Panarin threw his fucking glove at Brad Marchand. I don't know.
What is going on in this league right now?
Yeah, I don't know what the hell is happening. I don't even know the situation that even occurred to that. I saw the clip. I just saw the clip of him throwing the glove. Good on that ref, though, that was beside Brad Marchand at that specific time, because it looked like that Brad Marchand was going to pick that glove back up and probably whip it back at Panarin. Also, Panarin's... Okay, so he got a $5,000 fine, which is a fucking joke. Fucking...
Any fine in the NHL is a joke.
Yeah, so, which I think is funny, because with us as fans, we recognize that as a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And now the players are coming out and being like, yeah, it's a fucking joke. He was saying, I lost $5,000, but thanks to the old general manager for the 11.6, I'm good.
Yeah, not wrong.
He just said, yep, give me all the fucking $5,000 fines you want, buddy. I have $11.6 million. That is the funniest fucking response. I don't know what happened again in that situation. But, Jesus, I think that it has to be something. Like, it has to be, I think the max fine should be a substantial amount, I think.
But like, I don't even understand why he got $5,000 for throwing a fucking glove at somebody.
So apparently, I'm reading here. Panarin says he didn't really understand what Brad Marchand was saying initially, and then he heard something about Russia, and that's when he lost his mind. So that's when he threw his glove.
I heard it was something to do with, like, he said something about like Putin or something like that, because Panarin's had some issues per se with Russia and Putin and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure he's come out and he's said things about the other political leader that's in, or the other political leader that's in Russia right now. So I think he's come out and backed the person who's running against Putin. So
Putin, I hate that fucking food, man.
But in regards to Brad Marchand,
yeah, he ended up getting that suspension.
He ended up getting that suspension for slew footing Ekman Larsson.
Okay, what is slew footing? When I first saw that, I don't know what that means. Does that mean he stuck his leg out? Okay. Or he did like that dive thing that Brad Marchand does? Like where he tucks under?
So it's when you stick your leg in front of their leg or behind their leg, and then you put your arm in front of their body and you pull them back.
Oh, okay, I thought that...
So it's kind of like this situation,
what I thought
right?
It was, what I ended up thinking it was at first was, like those hits, which apparently are pretty intense and they hurt a shitload to the person getting hit, is like that knee on knee.
Ooh, been there, done that.
That's what I thought that hit was. That's what I thought that meant.
No.
And then I was like, okay, if it's slew footing, maybe it's like them sticking the leg out. But yes, that makes more sense of like putting the leg behind and
or they kick
and then pulling them back,
the feet under them, and then they.
I do that to everybody. Either just walking in front of me, just fucking snapping the legs in, like, oh, watch where you're going, bud. Oh man.
But yeah, so like slew footing is such a dangerous play. It's such a dangerous move to make on the ice. Like,
would he get 3 games?
Yeah. Okay. So
3 games. Yeah.
Yeah, even like where he slew-footed Ekman Larsson there, that it was dangerous because he wasn't far from the boards. Like, they could have easily broken his legs, or depending on how he landed. Like, yeah, it's a dangerous play. Like, can't just be kicking people or slew-footing people like that. It's like, That's no good.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely an interesting kind of situation, I think, because um, he's in an interesting time because I feel like his play style is coming to an end. I don't see Brad Marchand's play style like he's not even like a Tom Wilson at this point. He's more of just like a fucking annoyance when he's on the ice.
Mm-hmm.
Like licking people, fucking doing everything else that he's doing. Which I mean,
Spearing people.
pardon?
He spears somebody at least
Oh
once a
my god.
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
Um yeah, he might be the last of his kind of play style. I wanted to say something else, but yeah, I don't want to repeat myself, but yeah, I do think that it's it's definitely I don't think the goon side of things are changing, but the way that he plays, yeah, it's I don't think players or teams are gonna appreciate the kind of play style that he has.
No, definitely not. It's dying out pretty quickly, I think.
Yeah, I don't even know if anyone else plays like him. Maybe Corey
No.
Perry, I guess, but Corey Perry is not even close to how Brad Marchand plays.
And again, he's older than Brad, so you're looking at another player who's already like the play style is dying. So
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
Corey Perry, I guess, could match up with Tom Wilson, or who's that one guy that just got traded to a couple weeks back, to Vegas. Um,
Jack,
no,
Michael,
no. Avery's or something. He's a goon kind of player. I forget who he is.
Ryan Reeves?
They needed who? Who?
Ryan Reeves?
Yes. I don't know where I got Aries.
he's on the Rangers,
Pardon?
but he's on the Rangers, but he did get traded from the
The Knights. Yeah.
Golden Knights.
Yes, because one of the two teams needed. Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, you're right. He got traded to the Rangers because they need a player that can deal with Tom Wilson.
Wilson.
Yeah, which warms my heart. The fact that he needed a specific player just to try to get underneath Tom Wilson's skin. You know what the funny part is? Very briefly, um, I didn't realize how fucking big of a guy Tom Wilson actually is. He's fucking big. Like, he's about the same size as fucking Ovechkin, and Ovechkin is huge. Because when I was watching that video of Ovechkin getting excited of him getting the A on his chest, which he fucking well deserves it, they were pretty close in size, and I was like, holy crap. Like, coming across him on the ice must be kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
And the hits he throws off people, yeah. I would love one day for him to just level out Brad Marchand hard. Just send him out for a couple of weeks.
Oh.
Broken
my
leg or
God.
some shit. That'd be great for me. I would love that. Or yeah. It would just be fantastic. But I also
Do we want to quickly touch on DeBrusque?
oh yeah. I'm totally down for that because I just saw that he was leaving, so does anyone know why?
Yeah,
You
it's
guys know why?
well, apparently he was scratched. He was a healthy scratch over the weekend. He's 14 points in 41 games last season. I mean, like, this guy's like a staple defenseman on the Bruins defense line.
You know who should pick
Like,
him up?
didn't this guy just sign a huge deal?
I think so, actually. You know who should pick him up?
The Leafs.
Yep. Actually, I was actually genuinely going to say the Leafs. He looks like he would fit in with you guys really, really, really well. I wouldn't love to see him wearing a Leafs jersey. I think it would match perfectly.
Yep.
Because you guys have who right now?
Riley, TJ Brody, Jake Muzzin, Justin Hall, and then Rasmus Sandin and Liljegren and Dermott. Like, I mean, it's relatively rounded out. Like, it's a decent defense core. Don't get me wrong. They're playing great.
Yeah, but
But if we switched out like, hold on, let me look. If we switched out DeBrusque, like we brought in DeBrusque and put it and took out like Muzzin and gained those few years, I think that'd be a great swap.
what do you think, Taylor?
But the Bruins aren't going to do that.
Isn't DeBrusque... Hold on. Let me try to find something.
Oh my God, DeBrusque
Yeah, I was
is a
going to say.
forward.
I was looking for it. Yeah.
What kind
I was
of
going to
drugs
say, isn't
am I
he a
on?
left wing? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought so.
Even better, we need left wingers.
Yeah, I was looking for it. I'm like, wait.
So weak
Am I
on the
getting
left
this
Who's
side.
that defense? Who's that defensive kid that they have that I'm thinking of then?
Oh, Boston?
Yeah,
You are thinking of
I'm pretty sure
What's
they
his name?
also start with a D.
Charlie McAvoy.
No, I don't think so.
Brendan Carlo, maybe?
Maybe.
That's the only...
I know he's a young. Is DeBrusque a young kid?
It's like,
Yeah, he's 25.
Maybe it is DeBrusque I'm thinking of. I'm just mixing up his position.
That's what I was doing too.
He's
I
the one
thought
that
he
got
was
hurt a
defenseman
couple
for
years
some
ago,
stupid
right?
reason.
Against San Jose. In
I
the
believe
playoffs.
so, maybe. No,
I don't remember.
I think so.
wrong conference, man. They play in separate conferences. They wouldn't have done anything against San Jose because they never played each other in the playoffs.
All right, they would have to meet in the
Oh, it
Stanley
was
Cup
against Dallas.
playoffs. Or Stanley Cup.
It was Dallas. I just looked it up. But yes, I was just excused. Did I have a stroke? I was just confusing Jake DeBrusque with his position. I don't know why.
I still think he'd be a great player on the Leafs.
Oh yeah, I think
He's been a Leaf killer. That's the thing. Is like, and anytime we play the Bruins, it's almost every single game he gets a point against us. And he was really, really fucking important for the Bruins runs when we were playing against them in the playoffs the past couple of times we've played them. You know, because he's just always there. I think it was one of the series against the Leafs. He had a point in every single game.
I think I remember that.
The guy's a killer against us, and it'd be really nice to have him. Trade Kerfoot for him.
Yeah, I think he wants a change of scenery. I think that's what I read. That he wants to change of scenery, start fresh somewhere. And I don't know where that's. I don't even know what his cap hit is.
It's like 4 something.
Yeah, so anybody with
3.6.
it's not bad.
That's $175,000 more than Alexander Kerfoot.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
But his deal is up at the end of the season.
I don't know what he's gonna fetch next season.
You know where it'd be a good place to send him?
where's that?
Arizona.
Yeah.
Because he's a good player. And Arizona could use some good players. They've got a crap load of picks for the next couple seasons. So they could even just send Boston like a couple picks, like a first and a second. And then they get Jake DeBrusque. I mean, that's a good player to kind of wrap your team around, you know? You got Clayton Keller there. Who else? There's nobody else there, so you got to have some players in Arizona, right? And I feel like he would be a good player to add to that team.
Yeah, Nick Schmaltz.
Add a little bit of snarl.
Yeah.
Yes, Nick Schmaltz.
I think that team like that would be good for him as well, or Seattle. Seattle could upgrade a little bit, although they're doing pretty good right now. I think they're on a little bit of a run. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested where Jake DeBrusque is going to end up. I don't know what Boston's going to ask for in that trade. What Jake DeBrusque brings, like a high pick, or
I would say that he was a high pick
I
himself.
say at least a second round you could get for him. Points are not there yet, but
Would you give him like what would be too unreasonable? Like a second round and like another defenseman to replace him? Would that be too much?
He's not a defenseman.
Yeah, you'd be down to defense. I would probably.
Yeah, but if you're receiving a defenseman, right, and receiving a pick,
Right.
that would be good for Boston. But would that be good for, like, would you see like another team trading that much for him? Is what I'm trying to say. Or would you think like a second round and like a third rounder?
I think it'd be
much?
a pick for player swap.
A pick for player? You don't think he's worth more than that?
I mean, he's only got 6 points. I think
This season?
I think he's only got 6 points
3
this
goals,
season.
3 assists.
What about his last season? What did he finish with?
17 and 41.
41 assists?
17 points in 41 games.
Okay, that
The past couple seasons have not been good for him. But I think the idea of just a change of scenery would be good. So that's why I was thinking Arizona. You send if you're Arizona, you send like a second and a third because his value is really low right now. So you send a second and a third to Boston and say, this is all we're going to give you because this player apparently stinks.
Yeah.
So then Boston takes that. Arizona gets the player, rehabs him a bit maybe. I don't know. Maybe he just isn't as good as he used to be. But I find that highly doubtful considering he's only 25. There's still so much room in his game.
He's got a lot of time to grow. I think that I don't know. For me, I think
seems
like
very confusing.
no more than a third, I think.
I'm also very confused as to why he wants to leave Boston. Maybe he wants to go to a contender.
It's possible.
Maybe that's what he was saying.
Maybe
he just doesn't.
Like, who could take? There's no room for him on Tampa, unless he wants to take a 1 year.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know.
another one could be maybe like Dallas,
Florida.
Like, who would be another? Florida,
Carolina.
Yeah. It seems very iffy as to why he wants to leave Boston. To me, does it say anything as to why he wants to leave, Tyler?
Again, the only thing that I was seeing when it comes to this move here is he requested the trade. So obviously he wants out.
Yeah.
And this news is coming after the coach made him a healthy scratch on Sunday.
Who's their coach?
Bruce Cassidy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird for me. I would be asking why he wants to leave. Because in my mind, Boston technically is a contender every year, right? Or am I wrong on that?
Yeah.
Like I would say
they've had some pieces leave over the past few seasons, like Torrey Krug, and Chara isn't there anymore. But the guy's like 45 years old, so you're not getting much out of that dude.
Yeah. Where is he now? Did he leave Washington?
He's with the Islanders now. But he's a decent player and he'd be a good pickup for any team who's looking for some secondary scoring.
Yeah, I think he could easily score 20.
Yeah, absolutely. The only problem is at this point right now, the Bruins are selling super low. They're going to get nothing for him.
I'd say like a second round pick at most, I think.
That's the highest you're looking at.
Like, I'm not giving up like prospects or anything for him at all. Like no, not a chance. Like a second round pick. If I was comfortable with my picks going into that trade, then yeah, second round.
That's exactly why I keep saying Arizona. They have 5 second-round picks this season. You give away one, it's nothing.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. And
you get this player who could definitely be a decent player. They have 8 picks in the first 2 rounds this season.
Oh my God.
This draft.
That's a lot.
Can I just say, too, there's a lot of fucking people on LTIR right now.
A lot of injuries and it doesn't help that COVID seems to be running rampant through the league as well and knocking not just the Sens off of a few games, but now the Islanders have been dropped 2 games too.
Right.
So, I mean, and then again, like a lot of the Islanders team is severely injured too. Their highest point producer is out, their captain's out. Like, it kind of makes sense as to why the Islanders are playing so badly right now, is because there's so many injuries going on in their game, in their team as well.
Well, right now the fucking Montreal Canadiens have $21 million in LTIR.
Yeah, well, most of that is two players.
Yeah, it's definitely Price and
Weber.
Weber.
The Webs. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
Maybe Montreal could pick him up. Do you think that could be a possibility?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I think
I don't think Boston would want to trade them to a divisional rival.
that's the other thing. Because I think
So I guess Toronto might be out of the question too then, right?
Yes,
Right?
probably.
absolutely. As much as I would love him to get in there.
Maybe one of those three-way trades. Or what were you saying, Taylor?
I was gonna say, like, Montreal needs scoring. You know, they don't have a lot of scoring there, so Jake DeBrusk, potential 20-goal scorer, that's pretty fitting, I think, at a 3.6 mil for one more year. Like, just run it out and see how his season goes there, and see if you want to bring him back or not. But again, like Tyler said, I don't think for a divisional rival that makes sense on that part. West Coast team,
Right.
maybe.
I feel like it would have to be a West Coast team, because I know that I know the Bruins still, even in the Metro, they still have a lot of division, like a lot of rivals in the Metro too. If I'm Boston, I'm not going to trade DeBrusk to Pittsburgh or to the Rangers or something like that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
So if anything, he's going out west.
Before we close out here, we get talking on the Leafs, which is definitely what I want to get to on just getting guys' opinion. What do you think the Vancouver Canucks need to do? I look at them still suffering from their cap issues for the next 3 years minimum. I don't see this team going anywhere.
You know what the Vancouver Canucks need to do?
For the next while.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what the Vancouver Canucks need to do.
What's that?
They need to build a fucking time machine,
Before
go
the
back in
80s?
time. I mean, yeah, you can say that, but if we're gonna talk more recent, go back in time to fucking draft day or whenever the fuck this trade happened, and someone needs to slap Jim Benning in the fucking mouth, knock the phone out of his hands, and say, don't make that fucking trade for Ekman Larson.
Yeah.
Why the fuck? Oh, okay, yeah, so you're in cap trouble, right? You're in cap trouble. And what do? You're in cap trouble for 1 year. You've got 4 players, or 3 players, however many fuck it was. I know it was like Louis Eriksson and a bunch of crappy players that were absolutely awful on the Canucks. You got all these players. They're only playing 1 more year. They're only signed for 1 more season. You're like, man, I'm in cap trouble. I got to get something. So you go and trade for Oliver Ekman fucking Larson, who's been on the downslide for at least 3 seasons. At least.
Yeah.
And you've got him for 6 more seasons, I think it is. 6?
Till 2026, 2027.
6 more seasons of this guy. When you could have just stunk for 1 more season. You'd be in the same spot now if you didn't do this trade than you would have been if you did. So, you made your bed. Now fucking lie in it. Because that trade was probably the worst thing that Jim Benning's done in his tenure as the GM of that team. The guy's been there since, like, I think 2013, 2014.
Yeah.
Being the GM of that team.
Who is involved in that trade?
I know it was Oliver Ekman Larson, and then they got OEL and
Connor Garland.
what was his name again? Connor Garland.
Yeah.
So they got these two players, and I know like Garland was a good throw in for them as well.
I wanted
To
him
try to get some sort of value.
Yeah, I wanted him for the Leafs, but Vancouver scooped him up.
But I know going the other way, it was Louis Eriksson, Jay Beagle, and then I think a couple other players.
It's weird how that trade didn't work out in Vancouver's part. Like,
I don't think there's a spot for him. That's the thing.
for who?
Like, for Ekman Larson, I don't think he's a good fit for the team.
I have it here.
Yeah.
And no, there isn't a good fit
if,
for OEL.
If that's what you were getting at, Taylor.
Right.
But yeah.
So I have it
mean,
here.
like
It's
Bozer's coming up
Antoine
at the end,
Roussel.
too.
It's Antoine Roussel, Jay Beagle, Louis Eriksson, a first-round pick for last draft, a second-round pick for the next draft, and then a seventh-round pick in 2023 for OEL and Connor Garland. Oliver Ekman-Larsson also, there's 12% of his salary was retained by Arizona. So Arizona's still paying him.
Right. That's
But-
weird. I thought for sure that would have boosted Van like that much more. And like I'm actually personally I'm kind of shocked that Vancouver is where they are now. Like bottom of the barrel right now.
That team is just falling into shambles.
To be fair, they have been on the come down for a while. Like it's been a slow fucking. It was like they hit the peak, and getting into the playoffs, getting to the finals, and also boof, and it's just been a slow decline ever since. And I think it's still gonna go because they have like the cap issues are not going anywhere. We're not gonna. All three of us right now. I'm the youngest of all three of us, but we're very close in age. None of us are going to see the Vancouver Canucks win a Stanley Cup ever. The Leafs will win before the Vancouver Canucks do.
That's a hot take.
There's no chance. There's no chance. The way that this team is run, it's fucking horrendous. You have a guy in there, in Benning, who's going to do a 2-year rebuild, and he's been doing it for the past 8 years. And here's the funny part. They've been on this fucking decline since the 80s. Like, I watched a video of someone explaining all this with what's going on. And they said that when people think of bad teams, and I didn't even think about this, and I was, unfortunately, one of these people, but when I thought of NHL and I thought of NHL teams that were bad, the first team I always think of, I think the first team that everyone always thinks of is the Buffalo Sabres. Now let's be honest, they fucking stink, but probably nowhere near as bad or in the margin that this team does. I think no one knows what is happening, and I think that is affecting the team far more worse than a situation like the Buffalo Sabres.
That no one knows what is happening quote is literally something that was said during practice a couple days ago in during practice. There was literally somebody who said to the coach, "We don't know what the fuck we're doing."
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Their fucking coach, what's his name? Travis Green. Yeah. Get rid of him too. I'm sorry. You've been there for what, 4 years now? What are you sucking off Jim Benning in the bathroom after your losses? Get the hell out. What are you there for? What are you there for? You've lost. I don't know. I don't know, man. It just seems so bad. Like I'd be so, but this is the point that I was trying to get about earlier about teams just being bad. You know, like Detroit Lions, Panthers, Dallas Cowboys, Ottawa Senators is not in the realm. Kind of. I think they're on their come up. If I'm being totally honest.
Oh yeah, I think
I
so.
think they're in far better shape than the Buffalo Sabres and definitely the Vancouver Canucks.
Even though they're last in the division.
Even though they are last in the division.
They got a lot of young guys coming up.
I think in the next little while here, maybe the next couple of seasons, they're not going to be a contender, but I feel like they're going to be a hard get around throughout the regular season. I think they're going to be a team that's going to be tough in regular season. I think they're getting to the spot where Toronto was back in 2017, 2018. I think that's where they're headed right now, and I think they're going to slowly get back up there. But with the Vancouver Canucks in the position that they are in, at this point, what the fuck is the point of them being there? What the fuck is the point? You're wasting the team's time. You're wasting everyone's time. Like, granted, Jim Benning is going to leave. You know, the next GM that's going to come in, what the fuck? What does he have to do? What does he have to play with? He can't do jack shit. Like, you have Besser coming up next year. His contract is up.
Yeah.
Tyler, JT Miller, and Horvat is done in 2023. You have nothing to play with. You have no cap space right now. And you have 4 people in the LTIR. So,
jeez.
Like, there's not, like, even if you get another GM in here, this team is so royally fucked. It makes no sense. Just send this team to fucking Quebec. That's it. Get a healthy scratch, sell it off, put the players in a pool or something like that. Unfortunately, fucking 80% of these people are never going to see the light of day in the NHL again. Pettersson, he'll probably play. Besser will definitely play. JT Miller, he's loved in the league. He'll play again.
Horvat.
Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
OEL, does he play? Would someone pick him up? Who knows? I don't. Luke Shen, no, I think he's done. No, yeah, I don't know.
This team has good pieces. Like, don't get me wrong, they've got good pieces as you were listing. Pettersson, Besser, Horvat, even Connor Garland. Like, you've got this guy locked up to 4.95 for the next 5 seasons.
Yeah, Hoglander,
and he's like
sick.
Hoglander's coming up, and he's 20 years old. The guy's running shit out there. Like, you got a shit ton of players who are good, who are decent enough. You just need to build a team around them. But around these players, you've got people like Oliver Ekman-Larsson making $7.26 million on the cap. You've got people like Tyler Myers, who plays like absolute garbage and can't even skate anymore, and you're paying him $6 million a year for the next 3 seasons.
They also have a goal. I said we for some reason, as if I'm a fan of them. They also have a goalie, Demko, getting paid $5 million a year, and he's not very good. He's not a $5 million goalie.
Well, they signed him to this deal because he had some beautiful, 4 games in the playoffs 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And it fucking dragged them through. Who was it? St. Louis, I think, or Winnipeg. Whoever they played against and won a round. Back in 2020, they signed him to that deal because of his play, and that's why they let Markstrom grow. Imagine if they had Markstrom instead of Demko.
Oh, I forgot Markstrom was.
I understand that they're betting on the younger guy because Markstrom's like 32, I think now, and Demko's only 25.
Look at him now.
Exactly.
Markstrom is on fucking fire and arguably. Actually, you know what? The whole entire Calgary Flames are playing fucking fantastic. I can't even say it's just on Markstrom's shoulders. The whole entire team is playing great. which is hilarious because that was a team that was also in shambles not too long ago.
Yep, last season
last
they were
year.
like, "Oh man, what are we gonna do with Gaudreau? Like,
Yeah, there was
we gotta
so much up in the
figure
air.
out what we're gonna do with all these guys." Like, and now look at them; they're 12-4-5, second in the Pacific. It's
I think they are the case because, like, even right now, like, they don't have. I think they've made so far all the right moves. Next season is going to be interesting for them, for sure,
who
because they have a whole bunch of people coming
Calgary?
up. Yeah, they have a whole bunch
Yep.
of people coming up. But right now, I think it's I think there's a very good chance that they're going to end up being a playoff contender to this season, next to Edmonton. And I'm fucking praying to God that we get to see Calgary and Edmonton go off. That would be beautiful. I think that's what everyone wants. That's sure as fuck what I want. That's going to be a series that I watch above a Tampa Bay Lightning series. That's going to be great. The barns on both sides are going to be crazy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you remember a couple seasons ago when Kachuk first came into the league and was like starting crap with Cassian in Edmonton, and he was just like literally getting thrown around. I think Cassian was thrown around Kachuk. Like, it was so good. Like, I can't wait to, because I know it's gonna happen. I know for a fact, you can book it now, that these two teams are gonna play in the playoffs at some point this season. Whether it's the first or second round, I don't know. But the way that it's looking right now, it'll be the second round.
Yeah.
When the second round comes and McDavid's battered up and you got Johnny Gaudreau, who's actually playing in his own, finally coming out and being a playoff performer like we know he can be. When these players come together and these players duel it out, oh, it's going to be a sight to see.
Yeah.
You know who I feel so bad for?
Cool.
Who?
Take a fucking guess who I feel bad for. Just take a small guess. I'm sure you guys are probably kind of thinking of it.
Jesus Christ.
Do we all know who it is? Fucking Giordano.
Oh, I was
my
gonna say
God.
Ron Francis for some reason.
I mean, by proxy, obviously. You get the old man off the D line, and then all of a sudden Calgary goes on a run.
He's non-roster right now. So, which is hilarious.
Oh,
because
captain, my captain.
if you guys remember back before, what did I say? He's not fucking playing for that fucking bum-ass team. He's retiring this year. He didn't want to fucking go there. I feel so fucking bad for Giordano. You know, oh, it would be so. He deserves to be on fucking Calgary, and he deserves to be running with them the way they're going. Granted, they're doing really well without him. I still think that he deserves to be there. Whether or not he's contributing, he deserves it. He deserves to be part of that winning group, I think. Not on that fucking bum-ass
Tire fire. That fucking tire fire that's going on.
You know what's fucking weird, too? They won against,
The Sabres?
No,
Well, they're beating the Sabres right now, but they've also beat Florida.
Oh yeah, they handed them their Florida's first home loss.
and I'm pretty sure they beat the Washington Capitals a little bit ago, and it was bad. It was like 5-1 or something like that.
Oh yeah.
5-2.
5-2? Was it 5-2?
It's 5-2.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't bet that night. I would have got smoked.
I'm that team fucking stinks, man. It's not even for the same reasons that Vancouver stinks. It's just stupid, I think. Just dumb. Just dumb. All around dumb. You have nobody on that team. Nobody. I don't care.
So Giordano being non-roster, what does that mean for? Like, is he just not playing? Like,
He's the captain up in the press box.
So his contract is up next year, and he's probably just not going to re-sign. He's probably done.
so he's just not even going to play out the season?
I guess not.
Holy!
Why would you, man?
I didn't even know that was a
Would
thing.
you?
Huh? I don't know.
He's probably not going to get paid. Like, that's probably the thing. Like, he's probably going to get hit from the NHLPA or something like that. But, I mean, here, hold on. Let's see if we...
I didn't even hear anything about that either. Like,
I heard about it briefly a little bit ago.
like issues, or is it injury, or just I'm not. I think I'm done playing hockey now. Like,
I think he's just saying that because he didn't want to go to Seattle.
yeah. I thought he would have finished the season out and then retire. But
Nah.
I guess
He has
not,
no
eh?
reason to.
Aren't like Seattle
Right
like on
now,
a 3-game winning streak?
Right now, it actually lists... It lists NHL teams... Oh, no, sorry. I read that wrong. My bad. I thought it said former team Seattle Kraken. But what were you saying, Taylor?
Like they're like doing good right now. Like, it's weird how long has he been sitting out? Too, is it like been a while?
That's
or...
what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to. Trying to figure out.
Oh, he's out because of COVID.
Is it COVID?
Oh, it's
I saw
COVID?
something about that.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess.
He's the only one in the non-roster.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just
there's
him.
no one else there.
So he's on like protocol or whatnot, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Or has it? I don't know. So he'll be back then.
But that's been not
placed on the COVID list. He's been on the COVID list for 3 days. But like, it's really weird because like if you go on the website and look at the roster for Seattle, he's not even listed there.
It's also too.
That's
you guys
weird.
might be,
Actually,
or you might be wrong on that because Kraken have 5 players in COVID-19 protocol list who are unlikely to play opener, and that was October 11th.
So he is.
It says 3 days ago. 3 days ago, he was placed on the COVID-19 list. That's what I'm reading here, and I'm going to believe that.
So he'll be back.
Yeah,
So
for
yeah,
sure.
after
he does his quarantine, he'll be back, and
then he'll play it out.
That's my bad. I was looking at the wrong article there. He was just listed in the article.
Well, he'll be back then.
But like, I mean, I don't know.
Well, with the shitty teams on the out, what do you guys think of Toronto playing the way that they're playing? Do you think this is
the hottest team in the league right now? 9-1-0 in their last 10. 14 wins in their last 16 games.
Let's pump the brakes. Do you guys think it's going to be sticking that way for the remainder of the season? Like, do you guys think this is going to keep going, or do you think it's going to die out?
Plan the fucking parade.
Yeah, okay. Not when you have Kyle Dubas up in the office there. I don't think.
No, this is probably the most well gelling. Like they're playing so well, and the way that they're playing with each other, the way that they're communicating with each other, they're just so well, like, so. This is the best team that we've seen, I feel. You look at, like, I don't know if you saw or if you caught any of the American broadcast for the LA game.
Who, me?
But either of you. But they had Matthews mic'd up for the whole game.
Oh, I saw the what was it? The interview that Biz interviewed him, and he was in warm-ups.
I'm telling you right now, like, Sportsnet and TSN need to get off their fucking high horse wake the fuck up and realize that these two new sports networks like ESPN and TNT are going to run their fucking shit.
Yeah.
I will say, okay.
Because the way that interview felt, it felt like I was watching a football pregame show.
Here's the thing. ESPN will shut down the Canadian leagues. I promise you that. As soon as I saw that, I said, okay, well, there goes Hockey Night in Canada.
Get it out of here. I don't want it anymore.
It's like, for me, I and I'm sorry, I know it's a huge staple in Canada, but let's get fucking real. It's dead in the water now. Now, when you have a company like ESPN coming in, who makes the NFL the way that they make the NFL, I can fucking put money on it that they're going to put just as much money involved in the hockey broadcast as they're going to do with the NFL. Maybe, actually, you know what? Maybe not as much, but I can guarantee you the effort that the ESPN is going to bring is going to shake Hockey Night in Canada's boots, and they're going to fucking feel it. Because I have a feeling their ratings are going to dip. It's really hard to deal with ESPN and Fox Sports. Once hockey starts going on there, if that ever happens, it's going to be really hard. Like, NBC football has a hard time dealing with them. They have really good commentators, but when you start looking at ESPN, it's a whole new ballgame.
Well, NBC
Because
used
now-
to have the rights. NBC had the rights before, and then ESPN bought them out. That's the whole thing. Is NBC doesn't even have the rights to any games anymore.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, I feel like with this new TV deal with TNT and ESPN, these two American deals are gonna blow this Rogers and Bell deal out of the water.
And
like,
I'm
it's
so
just, like,
happy. I'm here for it.
I was so blown away by that interview during the warm-up skate.
That was fantastic.
It was such a good interview. And then, like, again, they had him mic'd up the whole game. There's that one goal where he scored and where he was just like, I love you guys. I love you, Johnny. Like,
I saw that.
This team is gelling so well right now, and there is nothing that can stop this momentum right now. Who we playing next? Colorado? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Adios, boys. You're done. I don't care if you got Nate McKinnon on the... No. Nope. Another win.
Yeah, they're playing.
I've never been this confident in this team.
Yeah, I mean they're gelling at the right time. Well, I mean, I guess any time's the right time, but yeah, every game in and out, like.
I think you're right in that sentiment, saying that. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh,
but
it's
I think
fine.
you're right saying it's the right time, because this might be Kyle Dubas' last year. But continue.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, them winning and going on this. I mean, like you look back at it when I don't know what they lost. I think it was. They handed their first big loss was again. I think it was against Pittsburgh, and you know I've said it before, but everybody was
So down.
Yeah,
on the
said
team.
it was over, shipwrecked, we're done, toast.
Throwing jerseys on the ice.
Ever since that, we've just gone on these absolute hot streaks, and we go on a run and then we'll lose one. Then we'll go on a run and then lose one. Like every time we lose one, we come up and we bounce back every single time. And I think this team is it's continuing to do the right things.
It's like that Big Sean song.
Yeah.
You know what this feels like?
What
And
does it feel
I don't want to bring this back to this season because I know how it turned out for this team. This feels like that record-setting season for Tampa.
Okay.
Because we're getting wins, and then it's like a one loss.
Let's calm
And
down.
the team
Dave.
is playing so well. And I'm just worried that we get the same outcome. I don't want to worry about that. I don't want to think about it. But I'm here for the ride. And honestly, like, I'm just enjoying my time right now watching this team.
Yeah.
I'm not focusing on contracts. I'm not focusing on, like, the next season. I'm focused on right now, and I'm here for it, and I'm loving it. And the boys are on a run. Hottest team in the league.
Yeah. I totally agree.
With the nicest goalie in the league.
Jack Campbell, man, he's just been lights out. This guy. He's so good, and I had my doubts coming into this game because I don't know, losing Freddie and having Mrazek and him. I don't know. For some reason, there was something about it that I just didn't feel comfortable with. But he's completely shut that down.
We haven't had a good starting goalie since Freddie at the beginning of his tenure as a Leaf.
Yeah.
And even then, it was still always Freddie starts cold. The first month, the month of October is awful.
Yeah.
October Freddie sucks, but November Freddie is boom, like Vezina style. And Campbell's just bringing over his play from last season into this one.
It's just
and
straight heat.
Unreal.
It
The guy's, I think, like 39-4 in his Leafs tenure.
That's crazy.
Who are you? Jack Campbell, that's who you are.
Guy's an absolute stud, and like I'm so happy to have him between the pipes. I think I wouldn't want any other goalie, to be honest. Like this guy is just he's streaky. I think he's only had really one bad game, but other than that, like this guy is a game every night. And
And the way that we ran through the California road trip, like it was
yeah,
nothing.
just tore that to pieces.
Get out of here.
But now I'm thinking, with Mrazek being injured and Joseph Wool coming in and having pretty big games come up, and he's shut the door on all of them, do you think that Mrazek's time in Toronto is jeopardized because of Wool coming in and, you know...
Well, do you think he's playing
shutting
better
it
than
down?
Mrazek?
Well,
Well,
Mrazek's been injured,
I mean,
so we can't really even like.
Has he been
scale
injured the
how
entire
he's-
time?
He's played 2 games.
Okay, then you know what?
He played one game. Mrazek played one game. He got injured, and then he came back, played I think one game, and then got injured in that game again, and he re-aggravated his injury, so now he's been out again, and now it's just been Joseph Wool, and like I mean, as I said last episode or last show, the game against Buffalo, obviously it wasn't the prettiest win, but it was still a win,
Yeah.
and then he got the shutout.
yeah.
And now he played so well. It was just a random throwaway game against I think it was the Sharks, and it was 4-1.
Yeah, just one goal allowed. Like that's what I'm saying.
Unreal.
How can the Leafs not even explore that option and get rid of Mrazek?
You have to explore that option. The guy's 23 years old.
Yeah.
You've already let enough goalies go. And if right now he's on his minor league deal, get that $3 million off the books with Mrazek. Go trade him to Arizona or something like that. Somebody who needs a goalie.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like opening up that cap more and you know whatever whatever
The more
options.
money that you guys have in the cap, the more money that you guys have is definitely going to be the better option.
Yeah, and especially going into the
Absolutely.
trade deadline,
Yeah.
because then that's when they're gonna put the most use to it, and hopefully bring in some extra power going into April. But I don't know. I'm curious if the Leafs are gonna explore that option and dump him and keep Joseph Wool and see what happens. But I don't know. For me, for this team, I think it only really comes down to April when the games actually start to matter, and it comes down to elimination.
Yep.
So again, like I'm with Tyler, I'm enjoying the ride right now. I'm having fun watching this team go, but obviously the real test comes in April when everything else matters and you make that run for the championship. So I don't know, we'll see what happens. I don't know.
All right. Well, do you guys have any other things you want to talk about?
No.
No.
It's good to have Taylor back.
Yeah. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. And I'm not working my ass off.
I know
Yeah.
the people listening are going to be happy too.
Nice, like that.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good comments and stuff saying that they hope you're back for the next episode, and here you are. So
Yeah, I answered the people.
How you doing? Keep it moving.
Yeah. How you doing? Keep it moving. Let's get out of here. Yeah. So you don't have anything to bring up, Taylor?
No, nothing really. I think the only thing that I could say is going to soccer. If anybody's a soccer fan listening, I I think a lot of people are pissed off with the World Cup qualifications going on, and that Italy and Portugal will be in the same playoff bracket. So literally, Italy or Portugal will be the one of the only ones to go to the World Cup. I think that's. I don't know. It doesn't sit well with
it
me.
can't be both of them?
Nope. They're in the same path, in the same playoff bracket, so they will play. Let me see here. Who do they play?
Does that mean that they have to face off against each other?
It's possible.
Wouldn't that be
like
would that be good for the sport? Like, I'm not too deep into
yeah, but
soccer,
think about it. Like at the World Cup, at the big stages, you want the big power dogs to be up there. Like you want to see Portugal, you want to see Italy in the World Cup.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah,
You mean like
this is
they're
qualifying.
not going to be in that run.
Yeah, like this is.
Oh, okay.
This is it. So Italy plays North
How come
Macedonia.
Like, why is it?
I don't even know how to say
What
that.
the fuck that is.
Yeah.
Well, why is this year different than the previous years? Oh, I don't. Isn't like the soccer, like football kind of thing, like isn't it run very weirdly, like much more different than everyone else? Like, isn't it just like rich people? At least that's from what I've heard.
I'm not entirely sure, like 100%. I just know that there's so much soccer to be played for these countries to qualify for the World Cup. So the games go on within like I think it's at least a year before the actual World Cup. And yeah, I don't know. I just think not having Italy and Portugal both in the World Cup sucks. Like that's just I don't know. Obviously, I want Italy to be in there, but again, like it just doesn't make sense.
Definitely, that's definitely weird. I wonder why they're doing that. Maybe.
Yeah, like
maybe
why?
They just want different teams or something.
Why are they not? Why is Portugal not in a different bracket? Like, or not in a different path? Like, why not in path B with Sweden, Czech Republic, Russia, and Poland? Switch one out, but now it's like I don't know.
Maybe it's
just a little bit cheesed about it.
I don't know. I wonder why they chose to do that. Because typically, it is, unfortunately. Well, I guess maybe that makes sense as to why. Because maybe it's just the case of them don't want to having like a Tom Brady kind of situation where it's always the same teams winning. That's the thing that I can think of as to why they would be doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess, but I mean, like.
But it just seems kind of weird. I feel like they would lose out on a lot of money. I feel like you're losing out on a lot of money because of the markets.
Yeah.
But, I mean.
Like, do you want to see Czech Republic over Portugal in the World Cup? I sure don't. Or Russia?
Not in particular.
No, like, you want to see the big teams there. Portugal, Italy, like. Oh, man, I don't know. Like, Germany, France, you want those guys in there. But to have only one go, I don't know. That pissed a lot of people off. But that's all I got to say about that. I just want to throw that in there.
I think it's crazy that Canada.
Oh my God, yeah. Canada's dominating right now.
And they're going to be playing. They're supposed to be playing the States in Hamilton.
Yeah, that's a huge
January,
game too.
So
we should go to that.
Canada's been on fire. January
it's on the 30th.
Of when?
Apparently it's supposed to be January 30th.
Yeah,
I'd be down to go to it.
I would actually wouldn't mind going. I've never been to a.
No, I've never been either.
A game of footy.
I wonder how much tickets are.
Yeah, maybe we should look into that.
Yeah, we actually really should.
Yeah, we should. I'd be down.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, clearly we're just filling up time at this point.
All right, well.
Close it out.
It's been a hell of a ride, guys, but this is where we come to an end.
Yeah, episode 10. We're
finished
hit
now.
our limit.
We're just finished for this episode. There will be another episode probably coming here soon. It's either going to be before the end of the week or after the end of the week.
So either before the end of the week or
Yeah,
same time next
actually,
week.
same time this right now.
It really is that
But
simple.
Keep your head up and your stick on the ice. See ya.